Good evening, everybody. It's a nice, brisk March evening here as we are bringing you some Overwatch action. Fuel Esports versus Dalhousie Gold. I'm Newt. I'm joined by Godly Parrot. How we feeling today?
I'm stoked. I'm just kidding. No, I'm happy to be here. It's gonna be an awesome game. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, we're in our final game of the season, right? Playoffs are right on the cusp, and both these teams, I believe, have already their positions have been solidified. So if we take a look at our bracket or at our standings rather, we'll see Fuel has clinched playoffs, and Dalhousie has unfortunately completely been eliminated.
Yes.
However, this match still does matter. You see Ithaca and Fuel there. Fuel is currently vying for if Fuel loses this, they actually fall to third seed, and then if Thomas College wins, they'll fall to fourth seed total.
Yeah.
If Fuel wins this, then they are solidly in second seed.
Yes.
So it's
It's
a close one for sure. It's definitely an
mm,
important match, but they're favorites on paper. However, something crucial to mention with with our Overwatch roster is since last week we've had a roster change. We've had a brand new switch. We'll take a look at our roster. You'll actually be seeing Little Spark is going to be the starting support alongside Artemis. Scummy's going to be your tank, and then Dora and Argo are going to be your DPS line. Argo was playing support before with Artemis, and then now is going to be going over towards that DPS role as Fuel kind of needed a real star flex DPS player like a Tracer.
mm-hmm.
He can play that. I'm not sure how good his Vendetta is, but I know he can play that on run if you need it. It's not really that strong though.
Yeah.
You can play Genji. You can play the Echo. He has a pretty wide pool, but he is mostly going to be on that Tracer from what we saw last week. Three out of the actually I think four players maybe in the three players in the room for sure, as well as the coach in the room.
It's Devin right
Yeah, Devin
there.
Key not been in the room, has been in a little bit of a wasn't there last week at all. I think even helping them because he was sick.
Mhm.
Been a bit busy, but he's here. He's ready to bring his team that victory. They're feeling good. They're feeling confident. You've been seeing a little bit more practice coming out from them on specific heroes. You're probably going to be seeing Spark on Kiriko duty, mostly because that's kind of the Kiriko
Yeah.
is the strongest support right now. Kiri Lucio is the strongest. However, Fuel will not probably be running the Kiri Lucio unless you see Argo subbed into support, which can happen on maps when Woody is going to be subbed in, play
Mm-hmm.
that Sombra, and then Argo can go to support. That can open up that opportunity for that Kiri Lucio. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of flexibility when they switch these rosters, but it's really going to be up to who ends up starting and what is going to be coming out on each map.
Yeah, because I'm curious to see what Fuel brings with that Kiriko. I did see a little bit of Onron, or sorry, not Onron, Wu Yang,
Yeah,
getting
so
practice a bit
if you're
there.
not playing the Lucio, I think the Kiri Wooyoung is probably going to be your next best. I also don't mind Kiri Bap.
Mm-hmm.
I like Kiri double flex. Like double flex Kiri isn't bad because Kiri can kind of take a little bit of a main support role. In some comps. However, Wooyoung's actually a main support in that comp. Despite like he's double flex, but he's a main support. It's confusing roles all throughout.
Yeah.
But overall, it can work out still really well. It can be a little bit strugglesome though into those brawl mirrors, right? If you're gonna be playing against, say, a Zarya Vendetta Lucio Kiri, you're gonna be a little bit struggling if you're playing that double poke comp. So it'll be interesting to see how Fuel can adapt to that, as they won't really be running that Lucio,
Yeah.
which is the premier main support, the premier backline really currently. But there's still a plenty of there's multiple maps, right? We got a best of five on our hands. It could go either way, truthfully.
Yeah.
Bans are also gonna be pretty crucial, right? Fuel has, Zarya is quite a strong pick for Scummy. He's impacting the Diva a lot as well
Yeah.
recently. Alongside, Kiri is going to be seeing backline. Door is lethal on these hit scan characters. Argo, a bit of a problem on the Tracer. So there's a lot of bans that can come out that can dictate what comps can be played, and teams have to adapt around them. That's really been the key difference maker between a good team and like a top team and a bottom team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is been the level to adapt to these bans. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to be able to tackle this one.
Absolutely. And folks, it's going to be action packed, but we're going to take a quick little break and we'll be right back with the game.
Last week and talk about what's coming up for our final week of the regular season. On March 9th, we hosted another Monday Night Game Night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. As always, thanks to those who attended, and we're happy to say that all of our TVs survived the night this time. We'll be back next week for another game night. On March 15th, we held a League of Legends tournament in the Fuel Esports Discord. Congratulations to Joshua Chen and friends on the win, and thanks to all of our incredible community members who joined us for this event. We're into the final week of the regular season, and many of our teams have locked in their spots in the playoffs. We also saw Fuel Esports Rocket League take a trip to St. Clair College for No Man's Land, where they went on an amazing run in their bracket. After finishing groups 3 and 0, only dropping a single map, they would sweep their first two playoff opponents 3-0, before eventually encountering the home team of St. Clair Green. Unfortunately, they would lose in the finals 1-4, still managing to take home a prize of $200. We're very proud of their accomplishments. Want to see more of our matches? We've got playoff action coming up soon at twitch.tv/FanshawFuel. You can also watch on our YouTube channel or on Rogers TV on Channel 13. Nominations for the Fuel Awards are now open, with submissions due by March 20th. You can nominate your favorite players and staff for their chance to be honored at this year's award show. Vote now at fsu.ca/discord. Finally, we're back next Monday, March 23rd for another Monday Night Game Night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. You can join us for friendly matches and registration at 6 p.m. before the official bracket kicks off at 7 p.m. That's all for this week. Make sure you follow us at FanshawFuel on all social media, and we'll see you next week for another Fuel Esports weekly update.
Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU service that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of consoles and games. In the Fuel Station, people can play a variety of games such as Valorant, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros, and many more. The Fuel Station is open at J2018, 10 to 10 on weekdays, and some days could be closed for early private use for Fuel Esports matches and broadcasts. If you want to know more about Fuel Esports, check out our socials, or just come to the room and check things out for yourself.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I will soon, soon. Know as a child back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my broom, vroom. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Fuel Esports weekly update. Let's recap last week and talk about what's coming up for our final week of the regular season. On March 9th, we hosted another Monday Night Game Night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. As always, thanks to those who attended, and we're happy to say that all of our TVs survived the night this time. We'll be back next week for another game night. On March 15th, we held a League of Legends tournament in the Fuel Esports Discord. Congratulations to Joshua Chen and friends on the win, and thanks to all of our incredible community members who joined us for this event. We're into the final week of the regular season, and many of our teams have locked in their spots in the playoffs. We also saw Fuel Esports Rocket League take a trip to St. Clair College for No Man's Land, where they went on an amazing run in their bracket. After finishing groups 3 and 0, only dropping a single map, they would sweep their first two playoff opponents 3-0, before eventually encountering the home team of St. Clair Green. Unfortunately, they would lose in the finals 1-4, still managing to take home a prize of $200. We're very proud of their accomplishments. Want to see more of our matches? We've got playoff action coming up soon at twitch.tv/FanshawFuel. You can also watch on our YouTube channel or on Rogers TV on Channel 13. Nominations for the Fuel Awards are now open, with submissions due by March 20th. You can nominate your favorite players and staff for their chance to be honored at this year's award show. Vote now at fsu.ca/discord. Finally, we're back next Monday, March 23rd for another Monday Night Game Night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. You can join us for friendly matches and registration at 6 p.m. before the official bracket kicks off at 7 p.m. That's all for this week. Make sure you follow us at FanshawFuel on all social media, and we'll see you next week for another Fuel Esports weekly update.
Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU service that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of consoles and games. In the Fuel Station, people can play a variety of games such as Valorant, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros, and many more. The Fuel Station is open at J2018, 10 to 10 on weekdays, and some days could be closed for early private use for Fuel Esports matches and broadcasts. If you want to know more about Fuel Esports, check out our socials, or just come to the room and check things out for yourself.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I will soon, soon. Know as a child back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my broom, vroom. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Fuel Esports weekly update. Let's recap last week and talk about what's coming up for our final week of the regular season. On March 9th, we hosted another Monday Night Game Night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. As always, thanks to those who attended, and we're happy to say that all of our TVs survived the night this time. We'll be back next week for another game night. On March 15th, we held a League of Legends tournament in the Fuel Esports Discord. Congratulations to Joshua Chen and friends on the win, and thanks to all of our incredible community members who joined us for this event. We're into the final week of the regular season, and many of our teams have locked in their spots in the playoffs. We also saw Fuel Esports Rocket League take a trip to St. Clair College for No Man's Land, where they went on an amazing run in their bracket. After finishing groups 3-0, only dropping a single map, they would sweep their first two playoff opponents 3-0, before eventually encountering the home team of St. Clair Green. Unfortunately, they would lose in the finals 1-4, still managing to take home a prize of $200. We're very proud of their accomplishments. Want to see more of our matches? We've got playoff action coming up soon at twitch.tv/FanshawFuel. You can also watch on our YouTube channel or on Rogers TV on Channel 13. Nominations for the Fuel Awards are now open, with submissions due by March 20th. You can nominate your favorite players and staff for their chance to be honored at this year's award show. Vote now at fsu.ca/discord. Finally, we're back next Monday, March 23rd for another Monday Night Game Night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. You can join us for friendly matches and registration at 6 p.m. before the official bracket kicks off at 7 p.m. That's all for this week. Make sure you follow us at FanshawFuel on all social media, and we'll see you next week for another Fuel Esports weekly update.
Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU service that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of consoles and games. In the Fuel Station, people can play a variety of games such as Valorant, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros, and many more. The Fuel Station is open at J2018, 10 to 10 on weekdays, and some days could be closed for early private use for Fuel Esports matches and broadcasts. If you want to know more about Fuel Esports, check out our socials, or just come to the room and check things out for yourself.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I bust soon. Knew as a child back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my broom. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Fuel Esports weekly update. Let's recap last week and talk about what's coming up for our final week of the regular season. On March 9th, we hosted another Monday Night Game Night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. As always, thanks to those who attended, and we're happy to say that all of our TVs survived the night this time. We'll be back next week for another game night. On March 15th, we held a League of Legends tournament in the Fuel Esports Discord. Congratulations to Joshua Chen and friends on the win, and thanks to all of our incredible community members who joined us for this event. We're into the final week of the regular season, and many of our teams have locked in their spots in the playoffs. We also saw Fuel Esports Rocket League take a trip to St. Clair College for No Man's Land, where they went on an amazing run in their bracket. After finishing groups 3-0, only dropping a single map, they would sweep their first two playoff opponents 3-0, before eventually encountering the home team of St. Clair Green. Unfortunately, they would lose in the finals 1-4, still managing to take home a prize of $200. We're very proud of their accomplishments. Want to see more of our matches? We've got playoff action coming up soon at twitch.tv/FanshawFuel. You can also watch on our YouTube channel or on Rogers TV on Channel 13. Nominations for the Fuel Awards are now open, with submissions due by March 20th. You can nominate your favorite players and staff for their chance to be honored at this year's award show. Vote now at fsu.ca/discord. Finally, we're back next Monday, March 23rd for another Monday Night Game Night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. You can join us for friendly matches and registration at 6 p.m. before the official bracket kicks off at 7 p.m. That's all for this week. Make sure you follow us at FanshawFuel on all social media, and we'll see you next week for another Fuel Esports weekly update.
Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU service that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of consoles and games. In the Fuel Station, people can play a variety of games such as Valorant, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros, and many more. The Fuel Station is open at J2018, 10 to 10 on weekdays, and some days could be closed for early private use for Fuel Esports matches and broadcasts. If you want to know more about Fuel Esports, check out our socials, or just come to the room and check things out for yourself.
Welcome back, folks. We are on Lijiang Tower with Zarya and Kiri Bands.
And we're at the fishes.
Fuel's looking for a bit of a almost all hybrid here.
It's going to be mostly, this is pretty much pure brawl, right? The Emra is just going to be able there to match the hit scan. Emra, Soj is pretty much, you know, you're going to see one or the other in every single comp at this point. It depends on who you're talking to if you think which one's better. A lot of the pros, higher you go, I feel like more people are starting to favor this Emra, as Argo is going to get that with that nade. Pick off Midnight early on, as Fuel is already going to get that first person. Scummy just holding point presence as best as he possibly can. Now the D.Va flies on in, but Argo is able to survive that one out with pulling out the pistol, pulling out that sidearm. Starts to ADS, does some damage. In the meantime, ended up de-meching, did Scummy there. So it's going to be Fuel with a clean first fight win here, as they're going to start to get this first cap, start to build up ults themselves, and build up their percentage.
Fuel's a bit ahead here on ult charges. And doing just a good job of trying to keep them in their base here. Hopefully to stagger them, maybe get a pick before this fight here. But Midnight taking out Argo off the rip will allow for Dalhousie to really get a bit more space here, taking some initiative. And it looks like Door's just trying to go for that flank. Some edge, get a pick against this Echo. So dangerous on this open space map. But here in on the flank is looking to shut down.
No lamp. Spark not able to get the lamp down in time, so he will fall, as well as Artemis. That's going to be easy pickings for Pokemaster here. Going to fall in the end, is unable to get peeled as Argo and Scummy trade out too. So it's not over yet as Scummy is keeping this fight going, but Terragor is going to be able to win that one out. And with the DM dancing here, he should be able to survive against Thor's onslaught from the Hellfire shotguns here. However, he is not done. He has his Wraith form up in 4. His supports are back. And it looks like Fuel want to keep this going. They have not dropped point there. They ping-ponged it so well. Argo finds the pick on the Midnight, and Fuel have clutched this out of the brink.
Absolutely generational hold here. That will be the Nano coming out. Onto that D.Va to dive out. Door gets dropped in the backline. Echo will copy the Mauga here to just dominate in. But they haven't got as much value as you should.
Aggressive D.Va bomb, not something you see every day, as that's going to be pulled out, as well as the Echo copy cage comes out. Midnight finds one on Artemis, as finally Fuel will fall. But that's 87, probably going to be 89%, 88% on the first cap. I mean, they fought for that one for so long. Now they have window. They'll have a cage of their own coming up. They have this override protocol, which Argo can just take to the skies and start to really threaten these squishies. It's going to force the Carpetans beat here. But Midnight, a nice early pick onto Artemis, who's probably just double jumping in the open, ends up getting caught, as Fuel may have to reset, but they're willing to keep this one going.
Fuel here now fighting on this bridge, looking to back up a little bit. Then Pino is just respawning here, but Mauga will be poking them from the side, trying to go for a bit of just, again, building up that ultra. He has cage now. Pino also looking to get a satellite right here.
Threat that Midnight has on this bridge is dangerous for the side of Fuel, as Door TP's in, but he's forced out. Beat comes in response to the override protocol, as Argo is in the skies, and he starts to rain the fire, but he cannot find the pick. Pokemaster gets the better of him as Midnight pulls the overclock. Finds one, Door finds a nice trade, but it's not going to be enough, and says Sport Park and Door keep on fighting back. Scummy untouched in the front line, and what I thought was over actually goes the way of Fuel. Door and Scummy with a crazy good clutch off of Little Spark's window. Argo switching over to the Sojourn now, realizing he wants to be able to have that one-shot potential contest Midnight here, as now it's going to be a touch for Terragor, looking to try to buy as much time. However, the Orbital Ray comes out for the side of Artemis, and that might just be the clean-up crew for Fuel here, as the last few picks come in. Two more desperation touches, but it's not going to be enough, as Garden is going to go the way of Fuel.
Yeah, I mean, Fuel did a great job there of staggering the enemy team at the end. That D.Va, I think she just pushed in, didn't have the ability. I mean, she was forced to go in and just, unfortunately, wasn't able to kind of jitter around, playing around cover, and burned that Matrix so fast.
Yeah, you know, Fuel, so their comp really likes the tight quarter spots, right? They really like to be fighting in close quarters. So Fuel, the problem with their early on when Dalhousie was finding success was when Midnight was just controlling bridge, right? Was controlling that open space. But as soon as Fuel moves to White Room, as soon as they're able to play that tight quarter and get onto point, that's when the Mauga really starts to dominate, as he's just going to be ice. He's going to be sledding around on the point here. Fun fact, this gets bonus speed coming down a hill. You'll probably
don't
see
say.
him. I was hoping he would do it out of spawn, but
So they got gravity in Overwatch?
yeah. And here, interestingly, you never see Fuel go for the TP out of spawn, so it is going to be Dalhousie with that first touch. At this point, you know, even you see a lot of the time you see the Symmetra stay, but instead the same comps coming out, neither team thinking it was the comp problem, except for the fact that Argo is now switching over to match this Soj. Midnight finds a shot, but it does not find anything else other than just a little bit of damage. It's finding a lot of threat. Door just gets a dry pick onto Midnight there.
Fuel here now just cleaning up this fight, looking to hopefully get a bit of a stagger on this D.Va. It will be successful in doing so. Fuel now have a lot of time here on this point before Dalhousie, or I was going to say Gold, Tigers here just have to back. So now they're probably going to get a good 25% is my guess before they can really kind of get a play in.
Dalhousie is a little bit of a problem for sure. It's really hard for them to be able to take into, like, to retake into Fuel's comp here, right? Their comp loves have positioning, especially considering Artemis has actually switched over to the Alari here. So going to be playing Alari BAP. Door, though, goes a little bit too aggressive. His TP got caught on the lip of that high ground, so he's going to fall. As Fuel now forced to play back towards point. They don't want to give up any point poke. They want to buy as much time as possible for Door to be able to return. As he's thinking about maybe switching. Instead, he's just going to stick to this Reaper as Carpton and Midnight find the picks. Fuel looking for some trades, but they will not be able to find them unless Scummy can, but he cannot. As Fuel is going to have to give over point flip. But they did get 46% out of this.
Yeah, I mean, just a great first hold, in my opinion. And doing a really good job of just making sure that they're keeping the enemy team. Now, of course, you know, come in there, they do lose that fight because Door died so early, but they now are regrouped and they're now looking to hopefully. I really like they're doing this. They're playing so wide as a team here, playing around two different angles, and now just testing in the middle. You'll hopefully take some space, try and catch either this Echo or this Sojourn out of position.
Nano and Overclock here for the side of Dalhousie as Midnight's going to pull the clock and start to try to find the picks, but actually went for de-acceleration field, so will not have this, you know, really threatening railgun from that ultimate. Now double sides over towards this flank here, looks for something as Spark is caught unaware and he will fall in the neutral. Can Door find the same? A nice peel comes out onto Marlia, but it's not going to be enough from the Echo copy of the Alari. And the special move comes out for Door as he finds a 4 or 3-person Death Blossom as Fuel look to get the point back in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, I got tricked there from the Echo for a sec, but absolutely still an incredible play. Lucio going to try and hold this for a little bit longer, stagger it.
Give a little bit more percentage, but going to be 62-48 here as Fuel is going to get that flip. Argo, again, a nice pick on there. Midnight forced to go back towards main here. Full regroup here towards his team. Scummy found a pick on the Maria. There's going to be another time burned off the clock for the side of Dalhousie. Overclock, 4 ultimates on the side of Fuel versus just the 3. You don't have a beat for all 3 of these ultimates. You're gonna have to see the D.Va with a Nano go extremely, like, do so much damage here, or else they're really gonna struggle to find a retake.
Yeah.
As we're coming up on last fight territory soon.
Yeah, I mean, Fuel here, everyone's got ults essentially except for Door, really.
Buddy, help our Echo.
Fuel is kind of just looking to keep their team alive, managed to get out, and now we're doing a wonderful job holding this. We're probably going to see a bunch of ults come down here as Fuel now to that 90 percentile. But we're getting so aggressive here.
Overclock pulled out for Argo as well as the cage from Scummy. Beat, though, nicely done in response. Trades come out for Door at Midnight. Fuel looks to continue their point pressure as this D.Va is taken very low. We'll have that second life, though, with the bomb if they can get it. Lamp comes out for Spark and it goes wide. Bomb out on point as Dalhousie looks to get the flip. They get the flip crucially. Actually, as Fuel had to give up positioning. Pokemaster picks off Argo as the rest of Fuel may be forced back here.
Yeah, Alari here is going to die without being able to use her ult, and Fuel now faltering, which what would have seemed like a win on that point. But that D.Va just extended that fight so much longer using that D.Va bomb.
From what I could tell, they seem to have fought on 2 different sides, right? So you saw Scummy pull out his cage in main, and he got some good damage onto it, but he didn't find much. And then the fight switched towards point, but Scummy was unable to get there. He ended up falling in main as his whole team had to go back to peel the rest of his team as the D.Va was diving. Fuel end up falling there. Scummy, a nice slam there, tries to find something here. As the Illari ult comes out, it marks at least the D.Va. Midnight and Scummy find some trades. Pokemaster's Ek copy is gone. Scummy's so low, but Spark finds a pick on a Midnight. Midnight, though, gets one in a post-mortem kill as Artemis finds one. And Fuel look to keep this going. The D.Va has been demeched and will fall to Artemis as Fuel will be taking a 2-0 victory on Lijiang Tower.
I mean, still such a close point. But yeah, I think, Illari coming in there, having that ult in that kind of staggered fight was a bit of a lucky advantage there. Getting a lot of damage on that D.Va, bursting her down and allowing to get her out of mech.
Yeah, when the Illari ult, right, you really want to be using it when they're entering into a fight. When you're already in the midst of a fight, you're just a glowing target that tells the hit scan, shoot me. Because you're really slow and you're not going to be taking, the extra movement speed perk because the rebuilding pylon is very, very strong.
Yeah.
You get that up instantly, and people will be shooting the pylons in these types of games, right? It's not going to be like, you're against a silver player who won't be shooting the pylon, right? You're going to be, these are going to get shot. So Fuel, I mean, they waited. Illari was unable to pull that ult, right? Artemis couldn't pull it in the main fight. As really what ended up happening was Scummy just fell on the side, and then the D.Va just found a little too much value in the backline, unable to unable to capitalize on that. The bomb bought so much time it actually got the flip over to Dalhousie. But as soon as the next fight comes, when you have that take situation, right? As soon as the Illari ult comes in, mayhem kind of becomes it spreads mayhem everywhere. As you saw some trades coming in. Midnight found some really good picks with the Sojourn. Pokemaster as well finding some good picks. We'll see if the rest of Dalhousie can start to, match this level, or if Fuel's going to run away with this one, because it's now going to be Dalhousie's map pick. It's going to be their first ban, but the Zarya ban's off the table, which is what Fuel is most confident on.
Absolutely. So, folks, we'll be right back with Game 2.
explosive.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be in a Zarya Vendetta mirror. If you've been watching any like really high level, you're probably going to be sick of this one by now, even though it's pretty much brand new. Very, annoying comp. Big difference on the team is going to be Akiri Wooyoung for the side of Fuel versus Akiri Juno for the side of Dalhousie as the Lucio ban came in. So no Rush, no Lucio, which favors Fuel. And then the Reaper ban comes out, so now you're going to see Door on his patented hit scan. However, Terragor, Argo, shredded instantly in the neutral. I mean, you got to be careful playing this Vendetta. You can get completely one-shot if you're not careful as Terragor just starts to beam down Scummy, but Joke Master ended up falling.
Both Vendettas down now, and it looks like Zarya, Scummy's looking to fight these supports rather than the other. Zarya taking so much damage, saved by that cleanse though. Dalhousie though is so low here without any bubbles and will drop, and Fuel now have the advantage on site. Scummy now getting the Juno there as well. Vendetta is now back on site, but Bookmaster gets killed again.
Just untouched on the Zarya. Just a complete and utter point presence as they get the cap. Did you hear like a loud fan the entire time, or am I losing
it was like I think it was a glitch of the
It was the loudest
Vendetta
thing I've ever heard,
thing.
by the way. But hopefully we're fixed. Hopefully we don't have the loud Vendetta spin anymore. As that was...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That would hurt. I can't lie. I got a little bit confused, but as it is going to be Argo just starting to threaten here in the main. You have to be careful about those overhead slices from this Vendetta. Can really take you down as Pokemaster dives on in, but gets flashbang. That's the counter to Vendetta, right? Is a flashbang. Now the Wooyoung starts to throw some orbs around the wall, try to poke out. However, Argo chases down this Zarya, but a nice self-bubble means they'll be able to keep alive. A good Suzu, though, in response from Little Spark, as the ultimates are up for Fuel. 4 ultimates here, as they have a big Zarya advantage, big grab advantage. But who needs that when the projected blade from Argo finds 2 just in the neutral?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I feel like Terra's not really... they're not able to get in as much as Scummy, and he's so focused on this Zarya mirror that he's not looking to take out the supports, and that allows for, Pokemaster to not have as much like space being able to take in, and especially when Terra's using all those self-bubbles, won't be able to allow for Pokemaster to take as much space as well. So here, yeah, we're seeing in these fights.
This is the Wooyoung poke, right? The Wooyoung poke is a big problem. And speaking of Wooyoung, the Tidal Blast comes out on this Vendetta. Knocked down one. Door finds a nice headshot onto Midnight as Fuel look to keep this going. They have the grab as well as Scummy did not find any kills off of it. Door finds a second, though, as the trades may come in. Fuel looking to keep this one going. A good Suzu, though, in response from Dalhousie as they get to be able to back off. But Fuel gets this first cap here on this point of Atlas. They have 3 ultimates versus the 3 of Dalhousie. Somehow the lane went out from Maria. I don't remember seeing that one.
It was like right in the start. It was
You're gonna see. It did not find as much value as they wish. Door gonna have a high noon to stop their Ray push from Dalhousie likely. As you're gonna also see the both teams are Sundered Blade coming out. Spark a nice early pick. The Ray comes out, likely to see the high noon in response as they're unable to push with this one. He starts to swing out, looks for something. He does find a tag. They stay out in the open as he finds a 2-man Deadeye.
Nasty
as
cow.
Door snipes them down as he finds his 3rd, and he looks to keep this one going. And Fuel are off to the races, and they're in a dominant position here on this second map on Atlas. I mean, this is Fuel's, whenever they go to Flashpoint, Fuel pick Atlas. So I'm interested to see Dalhousie picking this for Fuel is interesting, right? This is Fuel's comfort zone. Gonna have a Kiri lane here for the side of Spark, but you're answering into 3 ultimates of Dalhousie. Projected Blade can also just completely, the Sundering Blade can just completely stop a Kiri lane as you can just play around a corner and buy so much time. Argo dives on the back though as Door picks off Terragor, and the Kitsune is invested from Spark, but he does fall. Carpton and Pokemaster find 2 as now it's a full mirror, except for the fact that it's still this Sode versus this Cassidy. However,
Yeah.
unable to get the touch. Dalhousie fall as Fuel are going to find the staggers.
I mean, yeah, you just saw Terra there, major overextension into that fight, not playing with their team. Just, you know, and as well, like their support's having to back off so much because there's so much pressure from Argo, from Door. And now, like, you know, if we do see the Wuyong mirror come out, but even then, you know, like within these close quarters, he doesn't have as much pressure. And now Fuel, again, this, now we're finally seeing those bubble come out from Terra, but Fuel just getting in. Argo with that Wuyang ult, taking massive W's.
This is the power of Vendetta, right? You can get some heal and you can just completely tear through a team in the blink of an eye. That these slashes, you know, that overhead slice really just does so much, as Argo is going to be coming up on his next Thundering Blade. Scummy is lapping almost on the Gravitons here, as he will be able to build his second, and there's not going to be much of a response. It'll be a Suzu, maybe a lane for the side of Maria, who has quite an advantage on that, but as you see the grab come in, can Fuel respond?
Yeah, Fuel here now just putting so much pressure in. You do see a Kitsune come out here. Fuel now having to back off, though, from that Kitsune, and that will be Argo going down as so much space is taken out. High Noon, though, taking out Terra. That is a big trade that you don't want from the side of Dalhousie, and now Scummy taking a Postmaster. Wuyang just pressuring this Sojourn out, and now Fuel will keep this point going up to 70%. We've got one fight left on this point for Dalhousie to allow them to take it.
It's a lot harder for the side of Dalhousie to play. Their Zarya doesn't have as much threat, or has way more threat on them than the side of Fuel, as what this Sojourn's looking for, right, is to try to pick off a Squishy. This Cassidy just wants to shoot the front line. He wants to threaten damage, burst through these bubbles as fast as possible, and force plays out as Carpton just goes aggressive with his own Tidal Blast. Argo around the ceiling, looks for that Thundering Blade. It goes wide, but Dor and Scummy find the picks, as that is going to be a clean 3-0 sweep of Atlas as Fuel take that one in dominant fashion.
Yeah, I mean, Wuyang ult at the end there unfortunately didn't get as much value as he'd hoped. Like, yeah, I mean, just unlucky there, but Fuel just an absolute massive win across the board. This, again, such a nice High Noon. I didn't even see the player in that bottom part
They
there.
didn't buy enough time. They thought they waited it out perfectly, but instead, Thor able to just buy so much time, gets those 2 picks, and then finishes off with those last exit frags. Fuel up 2-0 in this series, and they're looking to solidify their place in second seed. They're playing so confident, they're playing hot, and they're looking to keep doing this. I mean, now they have to deal with the Lucio being back in, so we're going to be seeing, Lucio Kiri again versus whatever Fuel decides to go for. Probably going to be the Kiri Wuyong again.
Yeah.
But that can get overwhelmed and overran if they're not careful. But it does look like the Vendetta mirror is going the way of Fuel.
Yeah, I mean, Little Spark and Artemis, they're doing a great job of playing with space. You know, you have to, like Dalhousie, that Pokemaster is having to spend so much effort and so much utility just to get into that backline. And even with that Zarya bubble, we're seeing that Wuyang wave, allowing for that Little Spark to just have so much more sustain on herself and survive those dives. And then, of course, you have Cassidy coming in, who has so much, like, the ability to just look back and help on that Vendetta, allowing for them to have so much more sustainability in these fights, especially when Zarya is not helping out their front line, too.
But again, I would just say the big difference here really was the fact that Aragorn just got shredded every time they walked out, right? The Wuyong poke, the Kiri shots were coming in. Door would just, would just shoot the bubbles. They said, okay, you know what? We just kill the bubbles. And then Terragor just didn't have the ability to survive. The healing just isn't there. Maria unable to find it. Pokemaster unable to find any success as their Zarya's almost always dead. I feel like if you're Dalhousie, you go back to the Diva. Diva can answer into this comp a little bit here, but I just don't think the Zarya is going to be playing the Zarya mirror. I don't think it's going to be favored when you're playing against Fuel, who's been playing Zarya on every single map. I mean, they play Zarya on dive maps, right? So I think we'll see if Dalhousie goes back, what they're going to be coming back with, right? They have pick again, they have ban again, so we'll see what they do. But we're gonna have to take a short break before that, so don't go anywhere.
What is up, folks? We are back on Esperanza for push. We've got an Echo and a Diva ban, and we're seeing Hazard with a Genji play here, looking for a bit more of a dive comp, especially with that Lucio in their back pocket. Scummy, though, looking for a
Nah,
jump.
he's just, I think
Okay,
he's just
yeah, he's
rolling
messing
through the
around.
characters, to be honest. I mean, JQ's not horrible if he wants to roll out on
Wait,
it.
Hold on. Yeah, we
It
are
looks
seeing
like we're
Junker
rolling
Queen.
out on the Junker
Because they don't
Queen,
have the
okay.
Vendetta.
Yeah, well, yeah. Fuel not wanting to play the Vendetta, they're going to go to a double hit scan comp. Door on the Emra. Finally, I get to see Door play Emra. He's been dodging it the last two. Like, last week he didn't play it. He hasn't played it yet this week. I'm excited to see this as he is premier hit scan for Fuel. And this character is very, very strong in the right hands. Argo over to Worker Soj, so a double poke comp here. Poke Master going to be over towards Genji. This flex DPS can really tear through this double hit scan lineup of Fuel. 5 members on a bridge is going to be a little difficult to deal with if you're a Genji. Poke Master taken low, forced to dash away. The Hazard able to ping pong up on top of point. This is the crucial thing, is he's able to get up on top of bridge. Scummy cannot. Scummy cannot play to stop the aggression. However, Poke Master goes a little too far, gets picked off by Door. Midnight unable to find anything yet with these railguns as this shout comes in and Fuel looking to keep on pushing forward.
Fuel taking a bunch of space here, looking to try and catch this Lucio down. It won't be enough, as now it looks like Dalhousie's going to be retreating off-site, surrendering it to Fuel, looking to regroup and kind of go for an early counterattack, I'm guessing, playing from windows here. But yeah, both into these poke comps, both teams want to get a pick before going in. And I think, you know, that Genji can be really good in this scenario, but he's being so, like, I want to say he's almost wasting his deflex. Like, you're seeing him
He's
open
forced to
late.
use them a lot because he's trying to go as aggressive as possible. He gets pushed out. Argo just shreds through Terra there as Fuel can take another first pick. And it's going to be them all on the kill feed yet again. These exit picks going to come in as the knockback back from the nade sent Carpton up into the air where Argo could snipe. As Poke Master does pick off Argo, though, the Suzu comes out from Little Spark because he's going to take this 1v1 with this Genji. But finds a nice little exit headshot there as well onto Midnight, who now swings out, needs to find something with this railgun, but it's just going to be a little bit of damage, but no pick comes out as Artemis has Tidal Blast. Spark has this Kitsune Rush. Thor will have the Override Protocol when he comes back, but he did fall as the backline of Fuel gets run over a little bit here. As the Tidal Blast, though, and now it's their turn to make this attack happen. Terragor gets stunned down as the rest of Fuel look to try to push through.
Yeah, Fuel here doing a great job of counter pushing, but we are seeing Genji on this, Sojourn on this objective was just destroyed by Door. That burst potential is insane.
They just forgot someone would be coming from spawn.
Yeah.
That just, like, I guess they thought like he would just be going towards his team, so I wasn't expecting, thought it could get a little bit more meterage on that one, but instead ends up just getting dry picked with 2 shots plus a nade. And Fuel again take this control. They now have gotten the checkpoint. They have the forward spawn on lock. Let's see how they decide to play this. I am a personal fan of parking the bus here, but I know a lot of teams like to push it forward as the blade comes out, but Poke Master just gets sniped out of the air by Door mid-blade. As now Argo pulls out the overclock. It does not find much, but with this Kitsune Rush on top, Door keeps on shredding through. He has this Override Protocol coming up soon. Midnight falls from max range as Door finds another pick, and Fuel just keep on pushing forward. This Override Protocol as well as a Rampage on. If they burn the Suzu early, then Scummy can go ballistic with this Rampage. Bookmaster over towards the Tracer, tries to get a touch, does do it. Now the Override Protocol comes out as well as the Downpour. A beat and Ajax for Carpton means Scummy with the knife is going to be enough as Fuel look to keep this one going. An Override Protocol finds one, Terragor falls as Scummy keeps on pushing forward. The bot is being contested though by the Tracer. Pokemaster falls as now it's last fight territory likely for Dalhousie as Fuel look to keep on the sweep, keep the momentum from Atlas and look to take this one in dominant fashion. Scummy forced over towards left though, right has to be a little bit careful. Argo in main, no ults for Fuel, so it's going to be a little bit hard. Pokemaster switches over to the Freya. Kitsune Rush comes out for Maria. Can Fuel kite this one back? It looks like Scummy gets caught on a bus, and he will fall as finally Dalhousie answer back.
I mean, just, you know, they did a great job rushing through here, and now Artemis has that Wuying rush there, but there was just, I mean, even though they came through in the end, there was a lot of misplays on those ults. I mean, we're seeing that Dragon Blade go in, the Ajax on
Dragon
the Lucio.
Blade getting shot was quite unfortunate. The Ajax on the Lucio was quite bad. Yeah, that's a rough one for sure.
And downpour into a Rampage when she is unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Terragor can do anything. As that Wuyong ult comes out, the Tidal Blast comes out on to... as now they look to try to get this value. Pokemaster, though, picked off Thor in the neutral. The Tidal Blast from Artemis did not find anything, as just trying to keep this regenerative beam on their teammates, keep them alive as much as possible. The healing Ofudas get thrown, but Spark falls in the neutral. Scummy, though, finds a nice pick on a Pokemaster, who is just a second away from that bola shot. Will not be able to get it. Midnight swings up onto high ground, but gets taken down by the orbs of this Wuyong Artemis, doing so much work, as now Terragor is kind of stuck just holding right click in main. Carpton should be able to get his peel. The amp comes out as Fuel look to keep this one going. They're looking to fight back 126 meters to 10. But we've seen comebacks come out on Esperanza. Even last week we saw a comeback from Ithaca where they came back. I think it was 30 to 130.
Yeah.
So this is always doable, but Door, a pick on that bola shot. Pokemaster finds nothing with it, as now it's going to be another advantageous fight for Fuel.
Fuel now just putting all that pressure on that line. Hazard doing his best to try and disrupt, get in, get a pick on hopefully one of these DPS, but it looks like Scummy is just running this objective as
He's
far
just steal the cart real quick, as he will get double beated. Argo pulls that overclock, finds an exit pick. Door as well finds one onto Terragor, so Fuel get full control yet again. Now Argo here has a fully charged rail. It's going to expire though, so he will not be able to keep this one up. As Fuel looks to keep this going. Override Protocol, Kitsune Rush, and a Tidal Blast coming up. Over 3 ultimates on the side of Dalhousie. 4 if they can buy time for Maria to get this ultimate up. Pokemaster, a beautiful neutral pick onto Door. He's going to buy so much time, and that will give them the advantage, as they'll be able to build up another ult. Finally, winning a fight without having to invest a single ult, very crucial for the side of Dalhousie, as they will have a slight advantage coming into this next fight.
I mean, it is up to them here in this scenario. Fuel just wants to hold this advantage for as long as they can, potentially cap it if it can happen, but Dalhousie kind of capitalizing on Fuel's mistakes a little bit here. You know, we're seeing a bit of these aggressive plays, playing a lot smarter, a lot more of those kind of diving those backlines, and because of that Kiri Delphi, that Kiri doing there, but that will be Rampage coming out. Tsune Rush going out.
The Kiri Rush comes out, but Maria fell before they could drop theirs, so this is going to be a free fight for Fuel likely. He comes out in response to the Tidal Blast, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as the Lucio likely to fall, getting chased by the Wuyong, but he's so slippery. But Artemis's aim is just a little bit better, as Door and Argo pick up some exit frags, as well as Scummy. I mean, that's just Kitsune Rush versus no rush, right? You use a beat to try to respond, but really, the fact that you don't have a rush to respond is so unfortunate. Maria falls in the open. Now it's 4 ults to 2, but there's no real response to this override protocol, except for maybe a downpour, where you can try to take him out of the sky. Early Kitsune, though, but this can be kited. This is an extremely kiteable one, except the override protocol comes out. Door takes the skies. He looks to try to do as much as possible. He finds the shot on a Pokemaster, but he will fall into a post-mortem kill again from Pokemaster. As now it looks like Terragor are going to be in a lot of trouble, forced to use that wall defensively. Argo, though, forced to slide back as the trade comes out onto Artemis. Scummy as well fell. Fuel yet again fall in this fight. They're in a good position. Still, the forward spawns have not been unlocked for Dalhousie. They're trying to get to the checkpoint, but that's even more time that can be burnt off the clock for the side of Fuel. Rampage here for the side of Scummy. They're fighting into double DPS ult.
Yeah, Fuel here now looking to stagger them on this objective, trying to stop them from getting this point. And looks like Scummy
just gets a pick with the sidearm, though. Pokemaster falls. Argo finds a nice headshot with the railgun onto Carpton. That is going to be, again, Scummy starting to take this spot. He sees them all up on high ground. He has a Rampage. There's going to be a overclock for Argo coming out extremely soon. A big bullet shot and a big overclock are going to have to happen to the side of Dalhousie if they want any hope, as we're coming up on the second to last fight here. Scummy comes out here, bola shot, but he just kites it on out. Now the Carnage swing comes in. He finds a nice knife as well. A lot of damage burned on a Terragor. They're just trying to burn this Suzu as much as possible, because then the rush can find so much value. The Rampage finds one, but Carpton finds a pick onto Argo, as Midnight's going to be uncontested with this overclock, but instead he Goomba stomps on Little Spark's head and gets traded by Artemis. 10 seconds remaining as this last-itch fight, but it's just going to be Fuel all the way as Scummy gets a Tidal Blast on top of him. Terragor falls on top of his wall as no touch can come, and Fuel take the series 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, just what a play in the end there. I think they struggled a little bit to kind of follow through, but look at these Little Spark grabbing those cat ears with
Did you see
Argo.
his scream? His victory scream? He went like on cam. So yeah, nicely done by Fuel. A clean series, a good bounce back after last week where they lost a close one to Ithaca, and that does mean I believe they've officially clinched second seed in their playoffs.
So yeah, now they're playing
A
third.
good
Yeah.
ending for Fuel's regular season, as they're going to be heading into playoffs feeling confident, right? They are looking to take this one home, and they have a good chance to do it, right? The only two teams they've lost to, I believe, are the first and third seed, if I'm not mistaken. So the two right between them. So, but they've both been close matches, so it's always possible. We'll see if they can do anything here, as Fuel is going to be taking the series, as we mentioned, right? And I mean, not much else to say. It was a very, very dominant series.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Dalhousie there a little bit. They had a lot of good moments, but unfortunately, overall, I don't think they just have the sustain and the overall like team comp to contest against Fuel's just tried and true practice methods. So with that being said, we appreciate them coming out, and so we're going to take a quick break and be back with an interview.
Welcome back, everybody. We are joined with the, we'll call him the prodigal son, right? Argo. He came in as a DPS player in tryouts. Then he switched to support because of a little bit of some chicanery, if you would, right?
It was
I'd say
interesting.
maybe our flex support player stole you, and then now you're back on DPS. How you feeling after that match?
It was definitely a good kickback we needed. The me transitioning back into DPS, it's been a little difficult just because we practice so much with Little Spark playing like the Genji, the Soj, stuff like that, and then me basically hard practicing Lucio and Brig for the main support for so long. So I was a little out of practice, but playing with Art, playing with Spark on their respective roles now definitely helped me a lot get back in like synergy with them. Door has helped me a lot too. Just with him playing Reaper just so well, I've been the one to pick up the Sojourn as we saw in today's match. So I've been taking tips from him, and we're honestly I feel like we're starting to feel into a swing again. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had definitely an awesome series there. And I'm curious, when you're getting into those like deep fights, what do you have to like switch your mentality now that you're on DPS from like, saving that all to being a bit more aggressive with it?
Definitely, yeah, for sure. I feel like, especially in the series before this, there was moments where I would like not push as aggressively, just from playing Lucio and Brig so much, being like, oh, all I can do is just not die, and like that's my goal. But now it's like playing DPS, I need to take those ego duels, so to say, and see if I can hit the shot really. Door on the Reaper draws just so much attention, so it's really on me to push those windows where they're all looking at him and get value from it.
Yeah, you mentioned I was really interested to see, how when we loaded in, right? Because Door, obviously, it's been his. I feel like it's been most of the comfort this year has been, when I'm bored, whenever, if I'm not sure, I'm playing a Reaper, right? He just kind of wants to play the Reaper a lot. Last year it was more the Soj, right? So it's interesting to see you pull out the Soj, considering that's Door's main known hero, right? That's what he's kind of known for. So I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes, right? Because when Door was out, you guys had a little bit of a problem with a Soj player, right? I remember, if I remember correctly, during that, it was the game where you got a forfeit win and then you scrimmed them immediately after.
Yes,
The
yeah.
Ert Soj, you guys just were not really able to contest them as well, and that Soj started to run you over. So it's glad to see you guys do have a solution if Door is not going to be playing that Soj. You played it quite well. I guess, heading into playoffs, right, you're in a quite high seed here. What are you looking to bring to this team coming forward into playoffs, and what are you guys as a team hoping to accomplish?
I know for sure we want to start practicing Diva a little bit more. That character is quite good right now. Specifically for when the enemy team bans like Zarya. We got very lucky that they banned Zarya in a map where we could play the Mauga, where we could play like more brawly stuff, because that's really Scummy's kind of forte. But really pushing the Diva, and then me kind of developing my Tracer gameplay again with Door on the hit scan, and honestly just getting a really like play fast, kill fast, win fast kind of comp. With me transitioning off of support now, Spark's taking over the Kiriko kind of role, so that leaves space for Delphi or Artemis to really pick up the more damage dealing supports. We saw her play Wu Yang, Ari. She's fantastic at it. So I feel like if we can really develop the Diva and the Tracer, going off of her just kind of poke damage, I think we could really get a good thing going.
Well, hey, honestly, we are so excited to catch up and follow you guys through your journey through playoffs. But for a quick sec, we're going to take a look at our schedule for our upcoming series. Monday, we're going to have R6. Tuesday, of course, is going to be...
No, we don't actually have anything Tuesday scheduled right now because Valorant's not... our Valorant team did not make playoffs, unfortunately, so not sure. Wednesday, probably going to be seeing some COD action. Thursday, some Rocket League. Friday, probably going to be seeing the Overwatch team for their playoff matches, and we'll keep on seeing if we have more and more matches coming up. Thank you very much for joining us, Argo. However, before we do our full closing announcements, we have an absolutely massive event coming up. It's the Fuel Awards. Voting closes tonight, so get your votes in for your nominations so you can get your favorite players, your favorite casters, your favorite producers, observers, coaches, managers, everything nominated. Get every single person that you want to see at the Fuel Awards nominated. Tickets will be going on sale shortly. The event's going to be April 7th. It will be streamed live here. It's going to be an awesome event. All of us will be dressed up nice and fancy. It's going to be a nice, it'll be like a formal dinner and then an award show. Yeah. It's going to be a fantastic night. It's always a blast. Make sure you follow all of our socials, Fanshawe Fuel, everywhere to keep up to date with every single thing we have going on for our games, our match, our events coming up. Right, Fuel Awards. We have a couple other online events coming up shortly. We have our Monday night events. I think Smash is this upcoming one, so make sure you come by that one as Fanshawe Fuel everywhere. And you want to take us out?
Folks, thank you so much for joining us. I've been Godly Parrot.
I've been Newt.
This has been
Argo.
And we hope you enjoyed this stream.